Be careful what you wish for. Always the last words a genie tells you before promising you the world. Pokemon Legends Arceus is the dream we all had for the franchise, a mirage of promise and endless possibilities. But it is still a mirage, a potential trap. People like myself and others are conflicted about the game. On one hand, we are looking at a potential Breath of the Wild set in the Pokemon universe, a modern game ready to win an Oscar. But on the other hand, the problematic past the software house has and the hiccups the trailer showcased do not spark hope for the project. The opinions I have on the trailer are many, both positive that makes me turn down hateful comments, but also negative that makes me turn down my own hype. But before we dive in though, roll the intro. To catch everyone up, Pokemon Legends is the new game announced by Game Freak, the one you see in the background. It's cliché to say it, but it is clear that this project is Breath of the Wild set in Sinnoh. We do not know many details about the game yet, but it is clear Matsuda will bring Pokemon up to speed with modern RPGs and follow the wilderness aspect of Breath of the Wild. So far, so good, but looking at the trailer closely, there are some serious technical concerns. Is this game going to be ready by 2022? Seems too good to be true. In short, opinions about the games are divisive, and the little information we currently have does not help. In this video, I would like to explore both arguments, explain why hating the game is too extreme, but also why hyping the game is also necessary. Before even starting my discussion on Legends, I really want to highlight how big of a step forward this title is in comparison to other games in the series. In all 8 generations, we had new battle mechanics, some technical improvements, even some creative ideas. But when you think about it, we actually never had a new Pokemon game at all. If all games run on the same engine, would it be clear the difference between them all? Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the games all look and feel the same, but the core formula was kept untouched, both for the best and the worst. Pokemon Legends truly feels like a fresh start for the series. It finally looks like a new game, feels like a new game, it was presented like a new game. Game Freak knows this is going to be their first new game, and innovation is a trait I will always respect. I'm glad Game Freak is betting on something new, but just because the bet is high, this doesn't make them good bookies. You can admire Game Freak for her ability to create awesome Pokemons, good characters, great stories, intrepid adventures, and other story-creating skills. But when it comes to developing games from a technical standpoint, they have, let's just say, a troublesome past. Not only they have a bad habit to spend nickels on games that are console sellers and hire as few outside help as possible, but so far they showcase they are not the best at developing on home hardware, like the Switch. Look, I'm glad they are willing to learn how to make modern games, but don't bite more than you can chew. As it is clear by the premise, the conflict between what the game could be and what the game will be is evident, and it's undeniable that Legends will be a breath of fresh air for the series. We asked for change and change we got. But what is troublesome is that as far as we know, this game is not being co-developed by Nintendo EPD nor Monolith Softwares, leading many to believe this will be yet another fiasco for the Pokemon franchise. But that's it for the philosophical talk. Since pictures speak more than words, let's take a closer look at the trailer. As we see in the trailer, Sinnoh is an unexplored wild area, a terra incognita yet to be uncovered. From the scattered pathways and some ruins seen across the trailer, we may assume there is some civilization around the region, but apart from the rare encounters, the game will mostly take place in an uncharted world. In my opinion, this setting is perfect. I think having a wild feeling in a game that was always about catching Pokemon and learning from them, a less urban and guard-rated world works best. This will allow developers to have a free playing field to try new ideas and to make every creature unique. World building is likely the first, second and third priority for developers. The removal of pointless routes blocked by Snorlax are no more. The world is ours to explore. In the trailer we saw a vast open world, but do we see a dense open world? A diluted experience is no better than a linear one. If anything, I'll rather have a guided, well-structured adventure than a pointless open world game. I touched on this topic on my Yakuza video that I highly suggest you should check out later, but in a nutshell I already made clear that players don't wish to have a big open world for a big open world's sake. If I have to walk 10 minutes from point A to point B on a flat unitextural floor with nothing to do, I might as well walk in a linear path. I mean, the game is releasing in 1 year, and this is what they show? But let's tone down the pessimism for 1 sec and assume very generously this game footage was months old and that the world will be dense enough worth exploring. If Game Freak pulls out a well-structured open world, they might pull out a Breath of the Wild out of this project, let me tell ya. Many, and I mean many, issues of the Pokemon games are solved by this new game design, and that is quite something hard to ignore. Let's take difficulty for example. More experienced and bold players like myself might take a riskier move that may lead them to real challenges. Imagine trying to rush to Mount Coronet with your level 5 Bidoof and boom, suddenly you're attacked by level 60 Steelix. What do? You get your ass kicked. And that's exactly what I want. I want to learn where to go not by some vague mark on the map, but by my own experiences. Allow me to fail, and I will have greater satisfaction in succeeding later. Unfortunately, I do have to remind you that I said if. If Game Freak is able to pull it off, they might be the next Zelda. But for what we've seen in the trailer, that does not look realistic at all. Again, I get it, the game is in development, but this is far from completed, and no one can deny it. Pokémon run at 1 frame per second, there are no more than 6 colors present in the trailer, and the world looks void. Cyberpunk's first trailer looked like this 2.5 years before releasing, and that game was not completed at launch. That's how severe it is. Are you really telling me in 12 months Pokémon Legends will be the next Breath of the Wild? I really don't want to be pessimist, but a company that never developed an open world game can't showcase a proof of concept made in Unity and say this is gonna be revolutionary. I'm not buying that. I need much more material to be at least partially convinced this project has some potential. Will Sinnoh look like this, or will Sinnoh look like this? The odds are not in Game Freak's favor. We've talked about premises and world building thus far, and since it is a 2-minute trailer, we don't have much else to discuss at this point. But there's a last aspect of the game I wish to analyze before heading to the conclusion, and that's Legend's main quest. I don't know if people missed it, forget about it, or simply ignored it, but I do not hear many comments regarding the new main quest the game will have. For the looks of it, this game is closer to a No Man's Sky than a Dragon Quest. The focus is not leveling up nor defeating gyms, but rather to uncover an unexplored region. You might find trainers in some farms or small villages across the island, but that's not gonna happen that often, will it? What I'm trying to get at is that Game Freak is not just making an open world Pokemon game, she's making a new open world game with Pokemon, something that has positive and negative implications. On one hand, it will be great to have a less guided storyline, and I believe Pokemon might work well in this new environment. On the other hand, this combination of gameplay characteristics is again a bigger gamble for Game Freak to handle. If even one aspect of the game is out of balance with the rest, this might make the whole game unplayable. Is an unconventional story mixed with new gameplay a risk too big to manage, or is it the perfect combo to have for the new Pokemon game? I'll let you decide. Is Pokemon Legends Arceus going to be a wonderful game or a failed experiment? Well, I don't know, no one does. But one thing is certain, there is great potential and there are great concerns regarding the project. I don't like when people hate on the game because they just saw this trailer. However, I think hyping this project this early is not a good idea either. Right now I'm in the middle. I want to support the project and I do admire the proactive stand to revolutionize the formula, but I do not want to exceed my expectations, and the current state of the game is very basic. But what do you think about Legends? Are you more optimistic, more pessimistic? Let me know your opinion in the comments. As usual, thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, it means you're awesome, and if you like, share and subscribe, you will be even more awesome than before. Let me know what other topics you would like me to discuss next. But until then, see you next time. Arrivederci.